Hello, nerds, and welcome to Four Nerds Gaming. You're on with Qeelin,
And the wife.
and today we're doing a special playthrough of one of my favorite games of all time, Eco. So I want to start by telling you a little history behind Eco. It's not a big critically acclaimed game. It was never real popular. It wasn't a blockbuster hit, but it's still considered to be one of the best, artistic games of all time.
It's a playable work of art.
Yeah. This game was designed, originally was started to be designed for the first PlayStation, and they didn't get it finished in time. It was had a 4-year development. And they eventually decided to go ahead and move it over to the PS2 because they were, I guess so late, and they decided, the new technology available, and they wanted to make it look as best as I could. Now this version here is on the PS3. It's been ported to the PS3 with HD graphics now, and
It's been upgraded.
yeah, this game is the dream child, I guess you call it. It was designed and directed by, I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm going to try to say this. How do you say that?
Fumito Ueda.
Ueda, yeah, okay. He basically wanted to create a game that's considered to be a minimalist game around a boy meets girl type of concept. So, we're going to start a new game.
What I love so much about this game myself is just the graphics are so, even for today's standards, are just incredible. And they're just absolute beautiful scenery, and the whole thing is very serene and very calming. Even on certain points where you're, doing a bit of a battle, it's still very calming, and it just...
Yeah, this is the first of its kind when it comes to a console game that it was designed to be just as minimal as possible. That you can see you're playing a movie almost. There's very little dialogue, very little... I don't know. There's no health bars. There's no any of that stuff in the game. You're watching the like playing a movie, a story. Yeah, and the story is basically you're a boy. You're playing a character named Eco, who's once every so many generations a child is born with horns in the village, and they consider that to be a bad omen. And so when he becomes a certain age, they take him to this castle.
Basically, he becomes a sacrifice.
Yeah, you'll see here what's going to happen in a minute. These guys they're wearing horn helmets, and they're taking him, and he actually has horns.
They're all a little horny. I'm sorry that you just left that wide open. Get the sword.
So this is not like a typical playthrough that we do on the other stuff we're doing. I'm going to let you see all the cutscenes and see the story as it unfolds, so you can experience it similar to the way we would playing it. And hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as we do playing it. So
the actual story is a very deep story, and it's a very beautiful story. But you do kind of have to, in some respects, you have to kind of pay attention. Otherwise, you'll get a little bit lost as to what's going on and who certain people are. Which is hard to do because there is no dialogue. So
there's a little dialogue.
Yeah, but you can't understand it.
Well, there are some subtitles for Eco, but some other characters in here you may not necessarily see any subtitles for. So all these little chambers in this room are designed for these boys with horns to be put and be bound and
it's very alien looking in it.
And locked away, basically, to be sacrificed to. See, they lock him inside. And this will ensure the protection of our village for the next generation.
Like you sacrifice the one for the good of the many.
Right.
But and I kind of wonder if they hadn't done that, exactly what would have been unfolded in the village. Because did they just, from the first boy that had horns, did they start doing this, or?
I don't know. There's very little history about this at all. I mean,
I would love for them to do like maybe a prequel game to kind of as like an explanatory thing as to why they do this. That would be really interesting.
yeah. It's almost, I don't know, the mystery of it is kind of part of the, I don't know, it kind of enhances the story a little bit, in my opinion. Almost like,
In some ways, it reminds me of there's a short story that I can't remember who wrote it, but it's called The Lottery. And basically what it is there's this village of people, and every year they have, this drawing to see, who is basically going to be the sacrifice for that year.
mm-hmm.
And, so there's not really any history as to why they do the sacrifice or why they do the lottery or what the purpose is of it, but they just, go right into that. And so that's kind of what this reminds me of a little bit in that story. Why does he have bandages on his head, too? Did you ever wonder that?
It's like a, I don't know, it's a bandage or a bandana of sorts. I don't know what it is.
Some black
There's very little
ink
explained.
with a drip. Isn't that crazy?
This is an abstract game full of imagery and
It's very artistically done.
very artistically done. You have to kind of gather the story by what you think it means. So I'm not going to explain a lot of the things. I'll tell you what I think that happens in here and there, but
I guess in some ways it's one of those, it's kind of a personal story. You kind of interpret it the way you want it, I guess. Oh, that was not good. He just ate you.
that was a vision.
Him just ate your face.
Well, this game is essentially you are alone in this castle. And now I am finally going to be able to control it, see? And it's a puzzle game where you're trying to find your way out of the castle,
Boink.
And I want to tell you the truth, I've played this game through at least 3 times, but the way my memory works, I'm going to have to figure it out again as I go along, because I remember vaguely how to play each room and each area and how to get through the castle, but I'm still going to have a little trouble remembering exactly what to do. So be patient with me.
That's one of the things that I like about after you play a game, you just kind of put it down for a while and then go back and play it again and see what you remember.
Yeah, I'm bad about remembering the details of games like this. It's like playing Portal, If I play it over again now, I'm going to struggle through each one of the puzzles because I can't remember them.
I'm actually going through it right now myself. I was watching our son play, and I decided that I wanted to play it because, he's my son, and he can't be better than me. He's 5. That's just not fair. He's not allowed to be better than I.
When I played this game the first time, I remember feeling this sense. You kind of get lost in the game, and you feel like you really are alone, and the sounds of the crackling of the torches, and there's areas you go to, and there's lots of wind, and just the loneliness is so real. I don't know. I just really loved this game the first time I played it.
It's kind of along the same lines as the Mist collection. And the, by that I mean like the solitude and, the fact that you're doing these puzzles to try to figure out how to get yourself home, basically. In some way. Oh, you just fell off the thing. Oh.